and easiest way to write a letter, rather to send a written form of communication, is by writing letters. Some letters are short, others are long, others are medium in length. However, they are all letters. Letters comprising letters, which letters make up words, which words make up sentences, and the sentences make up paragraphs, then the paragraphs plus other paragraphs make up the entire letter. We want to look at this letter. For sure, as you write a personal letter, is not the way you should write an official letter. It is not the way you should write a business letter. An informal letter, a personal letter, is one where you can write anything in your own way. You can ask the one you're writing to about his wife, his cows, his whatever, everything that I've said, and you have no problem about it. But if it comes to an official letter, if it comes to a formal letter, a business letter, you have to be very particular. You have to follow the instructions as they are. Look, even if in a personal letter you have to follow the instructions, there's no problem about you delving into this, explaining this, asking about this and that, even asking about the weather. But in an official letter, you don't need to go that detailed. All you have got to do is to follow the instructions. Whatever you explain must in full capital letters, must, M-U-S-T in capital letters, must be according to the instructions. While in a personal letter, you are told to write about something. Even in an official letter, you are also told to write about something. However, in the latter one, which one, John? In the official letter, the one talked about later. In the latter one, L-A-T-T-E-R, in the latter one, you must be very particular. You must be very observant. You must be very keen. You must be very specific, to the point. Make sure you are relevant. If it is a personal letter, you need only how many addresses in a personal letter? Yes, Juma? Only one address. And whose address? The writer's address, the sender's address. You're the one writing, have to have your address shown there. It must be there. Why? You are the very person, the real person who is sending the letter. Personal. That is personal. That's a personal letter. In a personal letter, you don't need to show the address of the recipient, of the one receiving the letter, of the addressee, the one receiving. Don't say the receiver. A receiver is some kind of a device that helps to receive, sounds, receive messages, electronically. Now, you are going to make sure that you follow the instructions. Here we are with a letter. It is you who is going to tell me, it is you who are going to tell me whether this is an official letter or a personal letter. Is it official? Is it unofficial? Is it formal? Is it informal? Formal means official. Okay? Informal means personal. Sometimes people have said, this is a friendly letter, but a friendly letter that sometimes abuses a neighbor is not a friendly letter at all. So I hate referring to all personal letters as friendly letters. I repeat, I hate calling all personal letters friendly letters, because some are written in a very unfriendly way. An enemy writing to an enemy, that is a personal letter, an informal letter, not a friendly one. So I always avoid calling them friendly letters, because some have never been friendly. Okay, yes, here we go. Composition, that is bit letter writing. We are going to read and write. We read and write. Now, something I should not forget to remember. It is very important for you in a formal letter, in an official letter, to make sure that you write a letter that is not too long. But if that letter in the instructions needs you to explain a lot, there's no problem about you writing on another page. On to another page. An official letter had better be written on one page. If it is a foolscap, write the whole information on one page of a leaf of paper. But if there is need for you to explain more and you think you've not been able to explain more according to the instructions, then you can go over. You turn over. You go over to the next page. I remember a letter I wrote to the cow. What is cow in full? Mary? Cow. Capital C-A-O. Not a cow that belongs to a farm. Not a cow. But C-A-O capitals. Chief. Administrative. Officer. You went to school. The cow is the Chief Administrative Officer. Someone who serves as the permanent secretary at district level. He is the highest civil servant in a district. So I was writing a letter to the cow of Wero district. I was explaining a few things. But I found myself having to write a short letter at first. When I wrote that one, I said, well, this is an official letter. Let me make sure it is brief. I wrote it brief. And it was brief. And in its brevity, in its shortness, when the cow read it, he was not convinced. He said, well, what does this gentleman mean? He needs to explain more. So I was again invited by the secretary of the District Service Commission to explain more. Look, I'm telling you, there are times, sometimes you need to explain more. Now, the secretary to the District Service Commission told me to write and explain more and more. Look, I saw that the information I was writing was not going to fit FIT. It was not going to fit FIT on only one page. So I was forced to turn over. I even wrote there, TO, please turn over to another page. And I explained more and more. And because I wrote a longer official letter explaining, giving more explanation, then those people in that office plus the cow understood. And what I was requesting for was given to me. Amen. Amen. And that is that. So sometimes you need to explain, but make sure each time you're explaining, you are relevant. You are explaining according to what is needed. I've seen some official letters that are very long. No problem about it. But sometimes people get tired of reading a very long letter, which long letter may be read for an hour. So make sure you write and go straight to the point. Make sure you are relevant and hit the nail on the head. You are a young animal defender. Okay. You are a young animal defender. Maybe you don't belong to Animal Defenders International. That organization, capitals ADI. ADI is Animal Defenders International. Remember, we discussed it. Maybe you don't belong to that organization, Animal Defenders International, because that one is for the whole world, for different countries. You don't belong to that one. But you are one of the people who are young and yet concerned, worried about the wildlife. You would like the animals to be well protected. You are defending the animals. So you are a young animal defender who lives in Kabong district in northeastern Uganda, a few kilometers from Kidepo Valley National Game Park. Okay, you may say, I've never lived there. I don't even know what Kabong looks like. Just imagine. This is all about imagining and following the instructions. Try to be that one. If you can borrow a name of one of the people in that area, in that sub-region, the Karamoja sub-region, Kabong district is part of the Karamoja sub-region. So you have the Karimojong there. If you can borrow one name, Ichuma. Okay, Ichuma. Sister Lokoroilo Mur Lotiang. Achia Felix, one of those. Amria. you choose one and pretend to be one of those people living in that area. But remember, you're a young animal defender who lives in Kabong district in northeastern Uganda. A few kilometers, not many, maybe 20, maybe 10, maybe 30, but not 100. A few kilometers from Kidepo Valley National Game Park. Yes. You have seen some people, you have witnessed, you have seen, maybe you are an eyewitness, you have seen some people shooting and killing animals around. Oh, these must be poachers, very dangerous people, very unfriendly people, unreasonable people, very callous, very bad people. You have seen people, some people, shooting and killing animals around. And remember, you are a young animal defender. Write a letter to the managing director of Uganda Wildlife Authority. Is this letter going to be personal or official? Jeremiah? Yes, it's going to be official. This is an official letter. You're writing to an official who works, an officer who works in an office. So it is an official letter. And that person whose name you don't know, you don't even want to know, you don't know whether it's male or female, you don't mind, that's not your business, but is the managing director. This is his title. And at the doorstep, you're going to look up there and see managing director. At the head teacher's office, you'll find head teacher. But this is the managing director of Uganda Wildlife Authority. Now, this one is found at Parliamentary Avenue in Kampala. P.O. Box 127, Kampala. So, as you write to him, as you write to her, you don't know whether it's male or female. You don't, do you? You don't. So you're going to say, dear, stroke, Why? You are not sure whether this is male or female. You may say, dear sir, and yet you find that this person who holds this office of the managing director of Uganda Wildlife Authority, you may find that this one is a lady. And your letter has been addressed as dear sir. Don't you think the lady will not be happy with you? Yes, she will be unhappy with you. She may say, well, maybe this boy despises me. Maybe this girl thinks I'm a man and should have beards. Why is she writing? Why is he writing, dear sir? So you had better write, dear sir, stroke or slash, madam, comma. And then we proceed. To be safe, use dear sir, stroke, madam, because you don't know whether this is male or female. Always do that when the instructions have not indicated, have not shown to you whether this is male or female. In case it is a gentleman, then don't say, dear madam. The gentleman will say, wow, what has really happened? Does this girl think women are all around the place, all over the place? Why does he despise me? Has he seen me wearing a skirt? So be very careful and make sure you are sure of the sex. If you're not sure of his sex, of his gender, of her gender, just say, dear sir, stroke, madam. There you have covered the two sexes. No problem. We want to be safe as we communicate. So write a letter to the managing director, managing capital M, director capital D of Uganda capital U, Wildlife capital W, Authority capital A, P.O. Box, P.O. capitals, P.O. Post Office, box number 127. So the post office box number of 127 is where the letters are put. And that post office box number 127 belongs to the managing director of the Uganda Wildlife Authority. Kampala, give information. Yes, tell them what you know, because you have seen people shooting and killing, sometimes maybe with guns, sometimes maybe with arrows, bows and arrows. So you give information, because this world moves with information. You need to inform, you need to tell, you need to pass on information. You need to tell them. So give information about this act. This act of, which act now? Musa, which act? Yes, the act of shooting and killing animals around. Around means in the surrounding area. It says, give information about this act and suggest. Suggesting means give. Give advice. Give alternatives. Tell what can be done. Tell what may be possible to do. Tell what should be done. What should we do? So yes, I've seen people shooting and killing, and I feel very unhappy about it. Even now, I'm going to bed because after writing this letter, I feel